Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2018 Porsche Macan LPR Rally Raid. Now this has 1,750 horsepower, 1,475 pounds-feet of torque from a 7.4 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine. The car itself now weighs 4,505 pounds. Still has its all-wheel drive system, off-road tyres and off-road suspension, which could not be changed. And yeah, it can now do 0 to 60 in 3.106 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.781 seconds, and going to a top speed of 201 miles an hour. So yeah, the off-road capability, the launch, the acceleration and the speed are all really rather good. Braking is less so, but the handling is pretty woeful, and yeah, that would not be out of the realm of possibilities in comparison to other vehicles that have been made for going off-road. You look at the likes of the Nissan Pickup Rally Raid or the Liberty F-150 Pre-Runner, they also were not particularly great in terms of handling either. So yeah, not really sure how this is going to do, but the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer was reasonably quick for a car of its age and for something that had nowhere near the power it had originally. So I'm hoping this can be around that kind of speed, but wouldn't surprise me if it was about the speed of the Taycan Turbo S. So yeah, but let's get out there and see what it can do. Now obviously this is hugely powerful. It's not exactly far off 2,000 horsepower, and this car only had had less than 400 I think originally from its 5 litre V8. So yeah, it was a decent amount of power originally, but yeah, it's definitely something that was more for going slowly, or at least going at a reasonable speed over sand, or at least around short circuits where high speed is not really all that relevant, whereas that is not the case here. I am actually going to just have to change my batteries because they have just run out as I started, so hang on a second, I'll swap them round. Yep, I have disconnected the controller. I'm glad you finally realised that, Xbox. Right, short intermission there, and let's get going. Much easier on this game when you have some vibration to tell you what the car is doing, what surfaces you're on. Right, so obviously, like I said, this has way more power than it had originally, and the suspension hasn't been changed. The tyres I think are wider than they were last time, but they haven't been changed either. And yeah, the only benefit is the fact that it came with all-wheel drive standard, but that is really it. So yeah, those brakes are not great there. Took a while just to slow down, because it's still quite a heavy car. Even if we, even when you take into consideration we were able to lighten it a little bit. And yeah, obviously this is going way quicker than it could originally, so those brakes are working overtime, because we couldn't also change them either. So yeah, the only part in the handling part we could change is the weight. That was it. Couldn't change the suspension, couldn't change the anti-roll bars, we couldn't change any in terms of the roll cage, although I think it already has one. All the brakes, could only change the weight. So yeah, not to say that the brakes are bad, but you can tell they were definitely meant for something going about 100 miles an hour, not more than that, and some. So yeah, it's not a car that's suited or well built for this kind of speed, really. Though it did surprise me that it had a V8 in the car in stock form, considering the Macan never comes with one, only the KN does. So that did surprise me, but yeah, outside of that, it's a very competent off-roader when it's going at its own speed. But when you're taking it out of its realm of comfort, then or its comfort zone, then yeah, it is a little bit tricky. We've used one of our rewinds, so yeah, only got 2 left. But yeah, you can get this car by buying it out of the Forza Fun shop, or I think winning it on a wheel spin. I think I bought it out of the Forza Fun shop because yeah, it is a new car to the Forza series, but you can't easily get it. It's not like it's purchasable in the auto show or anything. But at least I am glad that it's on here, because yeah, we've had several other off-road vehicles added to the game. It's only fair that Porsche gets one of their off-roaders in a rally raid version. Not expecting this to be as quick as the 4Runner in the previous episode though, because yeah, the brakes on this are woeful, and yeah, it's nowhere near as good in terms of handling. But it's hardly going to be the slowest. But it is around the same kind of time as the Porsche Taycan Turbo, like I said, at 3 minutes 31.528. So it's a little over a second quicker than the Taycan, and that also means that it's quicker than the Nissan Pickup Rally Raid and the Liberty F-150 Pre-Runner, 2 cars I mentioned earlier. But it's slightly slower than the ruling Sunshine S, surprisingly, as well as the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, the Sierra Cars RX-3, the Toyota Land Cruiser AT37 and the Ferrari FXXK Evo, and way off the pace of the 4Runner from the previous episode, which, yeah, is getting on for nearly 7 seconds quicker than this. Oh, yeah, more than 7 seconds actually. So, yeah, sorry I had to wear that out there. But yeah, that is, yeah, not particularly quick in top forms of this car. Again, it just shows that cars that are built for going off-road fast, you know, in terms of being pre-tuned, aren't necessarily the quickest on this series, although the AT38 Hilux is still in the top of the leaderboard, so that's the only one that is the exception to the rule at the moment. But yeah, still, this was decent enough, but yeah, definitely way more power than it's able to deal with, especially when you can't upgrade the tyres, the suspension or the brakes, which I gather if they were be able to upgrade it, this would have been a lot quicker. But those brakes, yeah, you just have to brake so much earlier than you would in a normal car that we've used on this series, because of the amount of weight it's got, the amount of momentum that it's carrying, and yeah, the fact that you're obviously dealing with an off-road surface that isn't particularly friendly to brakes. So yeah, that is a shame, but yeah, still, that's the way it is. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you with the next one. Bye.